Hello, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. We're going to get started here in just a minute. We're just going to allow about a minute or two for everybody to get logged on. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar here. This is going to be a virtual open house of the Ruby. And I'd like to start off by welcoming everyone. It looks like we have 15 different families that are on this webinar. One of the most important things that I could ask of you is you're going to notice at the very bottom of your screen, if you could hit the Q&A button. The Q&A button at the bottom of the screen is going to allow you to interact with us. And I have Elena here. She is one of our top homeownership counselors out of the Woodland office. And when you hit the Q&A button, Elena is going to be fielding all of those questions, and she'll be actually forwarding those to me so we can get those addressed. And all I can say is, of all of the virtual open houses we've done, the more questions we have, the better. And this event is going to last about an hour. We'll do our very best to get us out of here at about 1 o'clock. But you're going to notice that we'll answer questions throughout. And towards the end of the webinar, we really want to make sure that we address all of the questions. So again, hit that Q&A button at the bottom of the screen, and Elena will be able to field those questions for us, okay? Okay, so without further ado, what we're showcasing today is the Ruby. And right now I'm actually on our website, and the Ruby comes in a few different exterior elevations. And this is the standard floor plan for the Ruby. You're going to see that this floor plan is designed for a narrow lot condition. So if you're building on a tight, I'll say a smaller lot, or even if it's a large lot, but we have some topography that we have to deal with, the Ruby's a great fit for some of those tighter lot conditions. You'll see that it's still a very nice open floor plan with the large great room, dining and kitchen, really big downstairs living area with a nice big patio door off the back. There is a nice guest bathroom downstairs as well. And then upstairs is where we have all the bedrooms, and I'll be showing that to you. The exterior of every Adair home is going to be full James Hardie concrete fiber cement siding. And I can bore you to death with how good it is and why you want that on your home. But every Adair home comes with different exteriors. And you'll notice that as you go and search our website, we have a multitude of exteriors like classic and traditions and signature and impressions and craftsman and riata. And when it comes to the exteriors for this particular floor plan, you're going to see that there are 3. So what we're showing here is the classic exterior. It just has a very clean, simple front door and just nice Hardie lap siding all the way around. The next is the traditions. And what you're going to see here is that now we're adding glass in the garage door. We're adding window trim and door trim around the garage, all garage and door and window locations, as well as what's called more of like a dental rail, right, or a belly band, and then different siding up in the gables. So you can kind of see how that makes the home feel very different. And then we also have our signature elevation, and it doesn't look all that different than the traditions, but the biggest reason for that is the traditions is the front of the home only. The signature takes all of this trim, window trim, etc., and wraps it all the way around the home. Okay, so with that being said, I'd love to show you the actual floor plan here in much greater detail. So this is what's known as the Basso residence. So once we take the Ruby and we make it your own, any customization you want to do, any windows you want to add, walls you need to move, Adair Homes, prior to signing final contracts, is we create a home for you, for your family. And you'll notice that the Basso family, they didn't change a whole lot about the Ruby. They actually kept it pretty clean and pretty status quo. And you'll see that upstairs, there's a very nice large master suite with a big walk-in closet, really nice master bath, and all of this overlooks the front yard. And then towards the back of the home, or overlooking the backyard, you have a couple of nice twin bedrooms there as well. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Before I do, Elena, do we have any questions at all?
Yes, hello everybody. Do we have a couple
Elena, you
questions?
might be muted, or wait a second. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, that was my volume. Everybody, that's user error, okay? That's
no worries.
So anyway, yes, Elena.
Awesome. We have a question by Elena. She's asking, how much does a furnace enclosed cost to have made it if I'm putting the furnace in my mudroom corner?
Okay, yeah, so that's a great question. So just to be clear on furnaces, here at Adair Homes, your furnace and your HVAC system or your heat pump, right, for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, that's all complimentary in the base price of the home for an electric heating and air conditioning system. But I think this question was more of, what does it cost to enclose it? So it does depend on the floor plan and how much wall structure we're framing, but I would generally say it's about $1,000, I believe, if we're going to be putting in a nice sheetrocked wall and like a nice bypass door around the furnace in a mudroom to kind of enclose it. So, but again, it is floor plan dependent. Great question.
Great. We have another question. Thank you for that, Jay. Linda is asking, what is the maintenance like for a hardy siding or for the hardy siding?
Oh, Linda, you are first class, and thank you for asking that question. So I'm going to exaggerate a little bit, but there's literally no maintenance. Okay. The reason being is that, and please Google this on their website, jameshardy.com. So the siding is actually concrete. Okay, it's concrete. It is concrete fiber cement siding. It's very heavy. And what that means is that it doesn't accept water, right? Termites don't like it. Moisture won't hurt it around like some of the lateral points where, at least here in the Pacific Northwest, like window trim can sometimes kind of rot out if it's real wood. And quite frankly, it doesn't burn. Now, do not try this at home, but you literally, it will not burn. Very difficult to get it to burn. So with that being said, the James Hardy product is all pre-primed, and should you or Adair put a really good quality exterior paint on it, then you're done. You're good. If you're in a very heavily shaded area here in the Pacific Northwest, yes, I mean, you might have to do super light pressure washing just for like moss control or like mildew control, I guess, just to keep the home clean. But no, there's limited to zero maintenance with Hardy Plank. Great question.
Jay, we have a couple more questions, and
Okay.
It's actually a follow-up question from Linda.
Okay.
Can the siding crack?
Okay, that's a great question. So technically, no, it cannot. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, wait a second. You just said it was concrete, and concrete always cracks. Well, what they've done is at James Hardie, they've put a lot of fiber and a tremendous amount of cellulose, right? Or silica sand into the product. So it's a concrete fiber cement product. So don't think of it like poured concrete or flat work, like the driveway we're showing here. It is a concrete based product with a tremendous amount of silica sand and fiber. And what happens is that allows for that seasonality, that a little bit of expansion and contraction. So no, it does not crack. But in the super rare event that it did just naturally crack, it is under the Hardie full 30-year warranty, and it would absolutely be replaced. But in all the years I've been here, I've never even heard of such a thing. But great question. Okay. Any others, Elena, before we get moving
Yes,
on?
we have two more questions, and it's
Okay.
by Elena. And she's asking if we have the ability to add step lights on the indoor staircase to eliminate just the steps rather than turning on an overhead light in the stairway.
We do, yes. That would be known as more of a custom option. But here at Adair Homes, we should, it depends on what area you're building in, what branch you're working through, but we should be able to custom option either tread lighting, right, that's built into the face of the stair tread, or what some families have done is you can do wall tread lighting with, like, every 4 feet, putting a really nice, dim, downward facing, low profile light just to kind of help illuminate the stairs. So yes, we can absolutely do something like that.
And we just have one more question.
Okay.
So Elena is asking if when building a 2-story home, due to allergies, if we can also do LVP on the stairway instead of carpet.
So again, generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, we don't offer that as kind of a standard in our design centers. But yes, for those families that do not want carpet, we do offer through our supplier at Shaw, right? We do have a couple of options around putting a laminate or luxury vinyl plank flooring on the stairs. But again, it is Adair branch specific, and then what products would be available. But again, yes, that is something that we should be able to entertain. Okay.
That's all the questions for now.
All right. Well, team, we're going to keep moving forward here. But like I said, it looks like there's about 5 people that showed up a little bit late. Not a big deal. Welcome. At the bottom of the screen, hit that Q&A button, and please, please, please ask questions. So what you're going to see here, this is a great visual, by the way. Okay. See how on the high side of this property, on the left side, we have that retaining wall and a lot of slope coming down. And then we have what's known as a very narrow building pad, because then the property slopes off to the right. So this is a perfect situation for a floor plan like the Ruby, because we need a very narrow home to go along this, I'll just say excavated cut. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this entire home is concrete fiber cement siding. And this family, I believe, did go with the Traditions exterior. So we're going to go ahead and start playing the video here. I'm going to mute my screen so you don't hear the music. So you can see here that coming into the home does have a very large open feel, moving all the way back. So we do, even in our narrow floor plans for narrow lots, we try very hard to keep that open design and that open concept. Another thing that you're going to notice here is some of the window trim, and I'll point it out in a few different locations, but this is what's known as our Craftsman trim, and this family did a full window wrap. Okay, just know that at your local Adair office, we have a few different options. You can do just a window sill and apron. You can do no window trim, or we have a few different styles of window trim that you can do. You'll notice the flooring transition here as well. This family went with carpet in the great room, which comes complimentary in the base price. And then we do vinyl, right, in the kitchen areas. And you'll see that this family has upgraded to a hardwood. So let's go ahead and keep moving forward. So again, this is a better feel for the actual trim. Again, this is the Craftsman style trim, pretty modern and just clean and block looking. The 4 can lights that you're seeing here come complimentary in every Adair home, which is overhead lighting for the kitchen. The pendant lights would be optional. So some families want pendant lights, other families do not, but that's something that you'd be able to select when you're looking at building your Adair home. The islands do come complimentary. This family did select a upgraded countertop. And what you're going to notice here is as we get closer into this kitchen, this is our standard appliance package. Okay, so we do offer a full stainless steel appliance package with a electric cooktop with glass, and then the microwave hood above it. Yeah, so this is a much better look. A lot of families will ask and say, "Hey, Adair, is this vented to the outside?" And yes, it is. This is what's known as a microwave hood. So underneath that microwave, there's a very large intake that actually grabs any kind of moist air from boiling vegetables or cooking, and it exits the home. Okay. This backsplash, what you're seeing here, this family did a upgraded backsplash. So our standard backsplash is a very nice subway tile, 6-inch tall, same height, but it's a subway tile. You'll also notice that this family decided to go with a granite countertop, and they also went with our undermount sink. And here at Adair Homes, you have a few different sink options. You can do a full, right, what's known as a open, like single bowl stainless steel sink. We also can do what's called a double bowl, and that would be a sink where you've got 2 different sides to it. And then we also have farm sink options for those of us that really appreciate the farm sinks. Any questions yet, Elena?
Yeah, we have actually quite a bit of questions. So Harry is asking, he's saying that he's used sanded grout in water situations, but it didn't wear well. How is your sanded finish different?
Okay, so we actually, the grout that Adair uses, and we're starting to get into some fine details here, is, bear with me, but I believe it is a polyblend grout is the brand name. If I remember correctly, please don't hold me to that. But the benefits of a polyblend grout is that when it's mixed, right, on site, the sealer is all the way through it, right? Versus a sanded grout that's much more affordable, and then you kind of just put a surface sealer on it. So again, it's been a while since I've been in construction, but I believe we use a polyblend grout. But great question. Okay. Any others?
Oh, yes. We have a question. What is not included in the project besides the lot?
Okay. So actually, yes, I can go ahead and address that now. So when you meet your local Adair office and schedule an appointment, I want you to think of it in 3 terms, right? Obviously, you have your total budget, right? This is how much my family feels comfortable spending. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down into 3 costs for you: the physical home, right? The land that you're going to be building it on, and then the site development. Okay, so to honor your question, is that site development piece, that is very well documented on our website, or you can come into your local Adair office and we will help you with this. But it's things like excavation, water, power, electrical, and building permits, right? So, and then are you on acreage where you might have a well and septic system, or are you on a city lot or an infill lot where you have city utilities? And if so, how much does that cost? So to honor your question, the base price of the Adair home does not include the land, okay? And the base price of the Adair home does not include the specific development costs required of the property. But during our process of helping you and your family, we will get you a total project cost, land, development, and home prior to signing contracts. Okay.
And then we're also asking, what are some stock finish materials and extras?
Yeah, so I will do my very best to kind of point out some of the standards and some of the add-ons. A lot of what this family did, this is actually an investment home for this family. A lot of what this family did is standard, but they did offer a few upgrades. So what I'll do is I'll point them out in this picture, and then as we're going through the home, I'll try my best to kind of point out some upgrades and what comes complimentary. But this is our complimentary appliance package that comes standard in your Adair home. These cabinets are one of about a dozen different standard options. This is a recessed panel door, right? And it is stained. And so if you come into the local Adair office, we offer there's four, but three different main door styles, and then about 6 different stain colors. And that's all complimentary in the base price. The upgrades that are showing here is the granite, like we talked about, right? And then this backsplash. And technically this door, it looks like the door package, the family did more of a 3-panel door, but I'll point that out in the home as well. So
Okay, great. We also have a question, is crown molding available?
yeah, so just to be clear, when it comes to crown molding on cabinetry, right, that all comes complimentary in the base price of your home, okay? But if you're discussing crown molding like along a wall to ceiling transition, that's something that we would charge extra for. So, yep.
And then Jody is asking if we have an estimate on the price between sheetrock wrap, bottom seal, and full craftsman window wraps.
So yeah, so Jody, that's a great question. It does depend on the actual floor plan itself, right? Is it a smaller home, a larger home? But in a home of this size, Elena, you might know better than I, but it's not bad. It's usually just like a couple $1,000s to fully wrap every single window in the home. And when you break it down, it's like whatever, $100 or a couple $100 per window for the finished carpenter to do that. So not bad at all.
Great. Do you want to do a few more questions?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do one more, and then we'll keep moving along here.
Okay, so Harry is asking, the sanded grout also has severe limitations on cold or hot compaction construction. Why is your sanded base different?
So again, I'm not the right person to be answering, that level of detail as far as the questions, but my understanding is that the polyblend grouts are a more pliable grout, and they allow for more flexibility, again, for like hot and cold as well. Again, I would need to do more research into that, but that's a great question for your local Adair office. And our team can grab one of our construction superintendents as well to help you with that. Okay. All right, let's keep the questions coming, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of move through here a little bit. So again, another good look at that undermounted single bowl stainless steel sink. And then as far as the dishwasher itself, you'll notice the refrigerator is missing, right? So again, going back to standards, the refrigerator and the washer and dryer for your clothes, those are the only appliances that are not included in the base price of the Adair home, okay? Because they're generally just slide in place and plug them in, okay? The other appliances are installed by electricians and plumbers. Again, this is one of, I don't know, Elena, what, like 36 different style backsplashes. I mean, in my opinion, our backsplash offerings are almost overwhelming. So just know that we have tons of backsplashes to choose from in your local office. And again, looking back out into this big great room, and I was mistaken on the interior doors earlier because that small pantry door was so narrow, it becomes like a 3-panel door. But this is what's known as a 6-panel door, right? It literally has 6 panels on it. And this is our complementary interior door. So really the only upgrade this family has done here that you're seeing is the Craftsman trim. So our standard trim is just a slightly lower profile than that. Okay. You'll see that this family has done some blue tape on their home, and that's really important for communicating with your Adair construction superintendent. This family is getting really close to getting completion on this home, and that's why you're seeing that blue tape. Another nice thing is you'll see that we'll pan here to the right. There's a bathroom off to the right and a nice laundry area for the downstairs. And then it's a really nice big clear span, like 20-foot tall ceilings in the foyer. So it really opens the home up nicely. So again, what you're seeing here on the right is going to be a very nice storage closet. These double doors here that we're going to walk down past right here, when you open these big double doors, that's going to expose the washer and dryer in this floor plan. So again, if I were just to jump out of the video really quick and zoom in on this so we can hopefully see it, we're standing right here, right? So you can see that you have the furnace closet, if you will, right? And then right next to that is the washer and dryer. So we're literally right here in this floor plan, getting ready to walk into your guest or powder bathroom. Okay, so just to pause it here, what you're going to see is now the family has transitioned back to just a clean windowsill and apron. You'll notice that the family decided against full wrapped windows for the bathroom. Okay, so that's an absolute option here at Adair, is maybe you just want your main area windows fully wrapped. That was just a question that this customer needed. Standard toilets. This is a standard vanity sink. So in a guest bath, or I should say a half bath or powder bath, we do freestanding sinks. And then this is our standard flooring. It's really hard to see. If it backs up, I'll pause the video again. But that is our standard flooring. It's just it's a vinyl floor. We have lots of different vinyls to choose from. So very, very standard selections in that bathroom. Again, we're going to be making our way back out into the foyer, and you're going to see these big, big clear span ceilings. It's hard. Hopefully the camera looks up here, but likely will not. So nice carpeted stairs. And you can see that, was it Jody that asked the question? I forgot. But we do have the ability to put in, again, this would be a custom option, to put in more of like a stair tread light here, or, maybe like every 4 feet, you could put really nice, wall mounted tread lighting. And this is our standard handrail as well in the paint grade. This is a great look at the sill and apron. And again, now that we're getting ready to hit the top of the stairs, it appears that this family has opted against, fully wrapping the windows. Okay. And now here we are at the top of the stairs. And just to jump back to the floor plan, what we're looking at, and I'll zoom in, hopefully this is easy enough to see, is we're standing right here in the home, right? So off to our left-hand side, we're seeing a big hallway closet for winter coats and things of that nature. You're going to see 2 bedrooms off to your right, a big bathroom to serve those 2 bedrooms at the end of the hall. And then when we go down this hall and take a left, we're going to go into the master suite. Okay. So, Elena, do we have any questions before we proceed on?
Yes, we have some questions.
Okay.
So we have someone asking about ceiling heights and if does Oregon have minimum energy standards?
Yes. So great question. Every Adair home has a true 8-foot ceiling. Okay. So historically, it used to be like 7 5/8, but anyway, but we do a true 8-foot ceiling, and we do have the option to do 9-foot ceilings if the family would like. And when you do 9-foot ceilings, right, the whole home raises by a foot, at least on the main floor, and then we also add a foot of glass to all the windows in that area, and then your garage door also increases by a foot. And then all of your upper cabinets in the kitchen also increase. When it comes to minimum energy code standards, every state generally has its own energy codes. And so your home will be built to the local energy codes for your state. And Washington and Oregon are some of the more strict ones. So great question.
Great, thank you. And then we have another question. Do we have a project manager that would take care of the contractor for land prep, painting, deck building? Basically, in other words, do you have to have sweat equity?
That's a great question. So the answer is no, you do not have to have sweat equity. So Adair Homes is founded on the principles of building custom homes at a very affordable price. So just know that if you want to engage Adair and help manage excavation and some of those site development pieces, ultimately you can save money and get that done at cost. But if you're not one of those customers, kind of like myself, Adair does have what's known as a turnkey program, where Adair can absorb the excavation and a lot of the other services as well. So that way the family just has to focus on like building permits and some of the permanent utilities, and then you're done. So great question.
Awesome. Are you able to answer a few more?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So Linda's asking if we have different cabinet crown moldings available, or can the cabinets be done without them?
So Linda, so we offer one standard crown molding from our cabinet supplier. It's been a long time since I've been asked for different crown moldings, but I'm assuming that as long as the cabinet shop produces the crown molding, that we could offer a different style to you. But great question for your local Adair office. And what was the second half of that question, Elena? I'm sorry.
Can we leave them off and not put them on without the molding?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming the answer is yes. I just don't know about that finished edge, because the way the box is built, if you pull the crown off, what is that top edge of the cabinet going to look like? So the answer is yes, but we might need to answer a couple of more questions before your cabinets get installed in the home.
Okay, thank you. And then can we have an insert built in a separate area of the kitchen for the microwave, or have a cubby made with an outlet for the pantry?
Super easy. Yep. Easy. So we could do a full gorgeous stainless steel hood above your cooking surface. And then yes, we can sync the microwave into cabinetry. If you wanted us to do a dedicated microwave plug in your pantry, I mean, absolutely, super easy.
Then we have another question. How much does it typically cost to change the bottom of the stairs from drywall, half wall of railings instead, to let more light in?
So we do have a couple of different options through our suppliers, and I don't know how much it is like per foot, like per linear foot, but for a run of stairs like you saw here, just a simple run of stairs, um, past knowledge tells me that would be a few $1,000s, because of the way we would have to cap the stairs, trim the stairs, and then start running balusters, either wrought iron or paint grade balusters. But yeah, I would say for probably a few $1,000s for a home of this size. But yeah,
Okay.
something we absolutely do.
You have time for a couple more?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So we have someone asking about dull nose drywall corners and window wraps.
Uh-huh. Yep. So I think that's I know it as bullnosed. That is for the rest of us more of like a rounded drywall corner. And yes, if you want rounded drywall corners in the home, that is an option that Adair has the ability to do. No problem.
Awesome, thank you. And then are we able to upgrade insulation and standard energy configurations?
Yes. Yep. Just talk to your local Adair office on what's important to you. And we can absolutely work with our insulation contractors and price out different, I'll say, upper end insulation packages that would exceed energy code requirements.
And then we have one more question, Jay. And are we able, like the customer's asking, if can I do my own electrical and save money and maybe painting?
So I'll say yes and no. So when it comes to painting, yes, you can. Painting is one of those things that does not require any building inspections or permits of any kind. But unfortunately, when it comes to electrical, Adair needs to own that, right? It has to be done by a local licensed electrician, so on and so forth. So even if you're a homeowner that just loves electrical, unfortunately, Adair needs to own it. There is one small exception. And if you are the person on the contract and you are building the home and you happen to be a licensed electrician, okay, come and talk to us. And we might have a workaround there. So.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
That's all I have for now.
All right. Great questions, team. I really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and move on. Again, you'll see 2 bedroom doors here off to the right. You'll see the bathroom there at the far end. And then to the left here, you're going to see we'll go down that hallway into the master suite. Okay. And I will say it's hard to tell, but the hallway up there is very oversized. So a couple people could easily pass each other. The bedrooms are nice sized. We can pull the exact square footages. Hopefully I can see. I'm gonna have to squint at this to see it. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so up top, so these are 12, it looks like 12 and a half by almost 13, right? Is the size of the bedrooms upstairs. So these are not your typical 10 by 10 bedrooms for the kids or additional family members. And again, you're going to see that this family chose just a nice clean windowsill and apron, and I don't want to spend money on full window wraps. And again, this is our complimentary carpet as well. So there's one bedroom. Then you're going to go into the second bedroom here. It's hard to see, but the closets are between the two bedrooms. Great for sound buffering. I'm going to pause this right here. So this is our standard, one of our standard backsplash selections. Again, the subway tile, standard kitchen sink. This is our standard shower, standard toilet, standard flooring. But again, really the only thing this family did is they just did a nice upgrade on the countertop for the bathroom. Other than that, everything in this bathroom is generally standard. But you'll see it's a nice large bathroom. Another thing you can do is, I was the one who was able to work with this family when we were, exploring the possibility of signing contracts. And you'll see this vanity is very large, and we had the option to put in a second sink, but just because of functionality and being able to have a ton of nice large countertop space, this family opted against a second vanity. A second sink in the vanity. Okay. Now here we go into the master suite. So what you're going to notice is as you enter the master, this fisheye lens makes it feel, I'm kind of a larger guy, and it makes it feel like a narrow hallway, but it's not. I mean, all of our hallways are a minimum of 3.5 feet wide. So it's a nice big hallway. It's just the lens on the camera that's throwing it off. But you'll see that as you enter the master, you're going to have a nice big walk-in closet to your left, a bathroom to your right, and then you continue on through into the actual bedroom itself. Again, standard cabinets, standard flooring, right? Standard backsplashes. All they did was a modest upgrade on the countertops. And again, this is another really good feel for the interior trim on the home, that this craftsman detail. And you'll see that this is more of a privacy bathroom where one spouse can be getting ready in the morning while the other is using the shower or the toilet. And this is a full walk-in shower with sliding glass doors. Yeah, I apologize. It's really hard to get a frame of reference, but if I jump back to the floor plan, you'll see the vanity on the right. And then I'm going to walk through this door real quick with you right here. So see the vanity right here. Okay. The camera, the videographer just walked through this door, and you have a nice big shower on the right-hand side with sliding glass doors, and then the toilet. So that's very hard for the cameraman to get that angle, but essentially that's what we were looking at there. The shower is right here behind this wall. So when you walk in, again, big shower right there ready for you. And this is one of our larger masters. So it's not one of our larger floor plans, right, by a long shot. But when it comes to the master suite, this thing is huge. It is, I got to zoom in here. It's almost 19 by 15. Okay. So in the world of master suites, this is on the larger side. This is you could put a king bed in here and still have tons of room for lots and lots of furniture. So nice big master in this particular floor plan. And you'll see these big windows overlook the front yard as well. And then as we exit the master, you're going to see this big walk-in closet on the right. And please understand too that when it comes to closet configurations, just ask your local Adair office. A popular option is like on this far wall to do a bank of shelves for like shoes and, maybe purses and linens or whatever. A lot of the ladies, at least my wife, right, prefers a taller shelf and pole to be able to hang dresses, right? But we could have easily come in here and come back like 4 feet or 5 feet and done like a double shelf and pole. So that way, for, different shirts and, maybe like pants or shorter garments. This is just a standard shelf and pole in this closet, right? So just know that we have lots of different options and configurations that you can talk to your local Adair team about. Again, there's the other 2 bedrooms. Nice big hallway upstairs. Camera angle does not do it justice. So before we start talking about the outside, Elena, do we have any questions or do we need to get caught up on those?
Yes, please. So we have a question. Is moving a window from one wall of a bedroom to another cost more?
Actually, it does. So there's not going to be any cost of construction because we're not buying another window, right? But to redraw the plans and re-engineer the plans, there will be a small charge. If you wanted to add the window, right? I know that's not your question, but for the rest of us, if you wanted to add a window, it's usually, I don't know, like $500 or $700 for labor and materials to add a window, and then any modest drafting and engineering fees. So just know that here at Adair Homes, super easy to move windows, add windows, even move or add interior walls as well.
And then Jay, can you talk about the difference between a craftsman architectural trim versus to the trim in the house on this particular floor plan?
Yes, so I can talk about it, but I'm more of a visual person. I'd love to show you. So in your local Adair office, in the design center, you're going to be able to physically touch and feel and see the trim. But our complementary trim is what's known as a colonial style trim, right? Really nice trim with kind of a double bevel on it. The trim you're seeing in this home is our first upgrade, and it's a taller, more craftsman style trim. Okay, depending upon the header, the jamb, and the baseboard, it's usually about a 4-inch. Okay, and then we have our second upgrade, which is going to be the architectural trim, and it's a much larger, robust trim for those of us that like big heavy trim around the baseboards and surrounds. So anyway, I wish I had a visual, but there's at least an explanation.
And then we're also asking if we're able to skip installing a vanity to bring their own. Or is it would be easy? Would it be harder to replace later?
Well, I guess it depends, right? So if you're in a powder bath, right, and you just said, hey, Adair, don't install my pedestal sink because I want to bring in my own whatever, that's fine. I'm just wondering, like in a master bath, to not install the vanity in a master, it'd be a much larger project, but obviously we could, I'm assuming as long as there's no code compliant issues or certificate of occupancy issues, that's a great question for your local Adair office. And that's something we might be able to do is not install a vanity and just pre-plumb for it. But yeah, we would have to ask.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I see on here.
Okay, beautiful. So what you'll see in this image is, again, this customer had to put in these retaining walls and retain this hillside that's coming down. And what you'll see here is that even from the front where the driveway is to the back, there's a pretty good slope, right? I mean, I'm going to estimate about 4 feet here of slope from the front of the home to the back of the home. And then it also falls down the hillside this way. So what you're seeing here is this family installing a deck, right? Because this sliding glass door is approximately 4 feet in the air. So I know the question's already been asked, but this is another example of something that we would want to budget for on the site development side. So that way you and your family could either do a cedar deck or a Trex deck. There's all different kinds of deck railings, from glass panels to, stainless steel wire to, you name it. So we would want to budget for a deck if one of your egress points is this far in the air. This also brings up a great point that we assume that most lots are not flat. So this is known as what's called a stepped foundation. And you'll see that we're stepping this foundation down the hillside and then, putting as much siding as we can on the home. So that way you don't have this, big ugly wall of concrete. So just know that stepping a foundation specific to your property is not a big deal at all. This is a great image of our Traditions home. So again, the front of this home is, all wrapped and trimmed and looks beautiful. But this family chose to save the money because they didn't need belly bands and decorative gables, in the rear of the home. And they didn't need big, heavy, 4-inch window wraps on the back of the home. So again, it's totally family specific and what you want on your home. So looks like we have another maybe minute of video left here. So you can see this is another good image that this is at grade, right? So the driveways usually are always what sets the grade for the home. And then you'll see that from the front door, right, here we go. We just start stepping all the way down, okay? And again, because this front door is a few feet in the air, the family's putting in a nice wood deck kind of in the front yard area there. But all of these types of things will be addressed up front with your homeownership counselor. And it's the fact that we do a complimentary site evaluation for every Adair family prior to signing contracts to be able to have all these conversations and to make sure that we're budgeting on the site development side appropriately. And again, you can now see the window wraps and the belly bands and some of the more added trim on the front of the home that we did not see on the back of the home. And again, this gives us yet another angle of, all the way up in that front yard, that's kind of the zero grade. And then the home slopes down this hill to its lowest point here, and then slopes back up the hill. So again, this is a great example of a stepped foundation. The actual floor system of this home is at the bottom of the sliding glass door, right where the floor is. So if we just follow this panel board all the way over, right where my arrow is right there, that's the floor of the great room. And this is just all foundation, right? This is all crawl space. So, but again, stepping foundations is really easy with Adair Homes, and we will budget for that prior to signing contracts with you. And with that, we are at the end of the video. So, and we even have 5 minutes to spare. So Elena, how are we doing on questions? Do we have any final questions at all?
Yes, we have a couple final questions. Did this home have a deck ledger installed?
Yes. So, and that's a great question. So any area that requires a deck, even though Adair Homes does not physically provide the deck, because there's so many different styles and brands and what's it made out of, we absolutely include a deck ledger board. So the home is flashed properly, it's waterproofed, and it's structurally ready to accept a deck. So great question.
Awesome. We have a few more questions coming in. We have Elena asking if I want a fence built in the back, do I need to get a bid and commit to building it before submitting for permit?
No. The only reason why you would quote unquote have to provide a fence is if there's some like covenant code restriction like CC&R or some zoning code that demands that this property has to have a fence. But that would be very rare. Generally speaking, no, you can budget for it and then just know that your construction loan has the ability to pay for a fence, but it wouldn't be mandatory unless the building department required it for your tax parcel. And what I'm gonna do, team, is I'm gonna play this video in the background just while we're answering questions. So I'm gonna mute the video here and we'll just go ahead and play it. Okay, so go ahead, Elena.
We have another questions, and Linda's asking, can an access door be in the foundation crawl space area where there is a lot of space where it slopes?
So yes, in the back of this home, if you wanted to create a access because your foundation is so tall in the back, that's something that we could absolutely do, is put in a exterior access for the crawl space. That would not be a problem at all. Okay.
Thank you. And that was the last question that I see.
Wow. Well, my goodness, we're gonna get done on time here. So, well, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for attending today. Hopefully, this gave you a good view of the Ruby floor plan and kind of a feel for what it looks like and feels like inside. And like I said, don't hesitate to go on our website, adairhomes.com, book an appointment if you haven't already, meet with our team, and we would love to help and assist you in putting together, a total project cost for what your Adair home would cost on a piece of property that you're considering. So thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody.